Hey guys, what's up? Dylan Gu here. Welcome back to the Toon Shading tutorial series. We just finished the backface culling setup. Now we're going to be modifying the colors of the backface culling outlines just a little bit so that we can kind of, we want to take a little bit more control of our artistic creation. So that's part of it. Color selection is part of it in every step of the way. So you can choose to color your outline, and that makes a big difference. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. You might have already guessed how to do this. It's pretty easy. It's all in the node editor. So let's go ahead and bring it over to control left. We'll bring it over to the materials node. I'm going to go and press not 8, 5 to bring that into orthographic mode. And I'm going to collapse this just so we can get a little bit more space to see our viewport. But over here we have our editor. So if you notice, every single one of these line layers is sharing the same color, which is black. And if I change this to white, you can see that we get a pretty cool effect there. But truth be told is, I think personally that each color, each mesh should have its own outline color. So as you can see, red looks pretty weird on everything, etc., etc. You don't want to share the colors, but some colors will look better on others. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a new instance of this line layer. We go ahead and reset that to black for everyone else to be happy, all the other meshes. And then I'm going to go ahead and select the body, as we always do. Start with the body. And I'm going to go ahead and select, click this number 7, which is how many objects are using it. Blah, blah, blah. You guys know the drill. So I'm going to call this line layer snow. So this is the snow line layer. So instead of using this line layer base material, we also have to change this to line layer snow, just to make sure that there is no bleeding of the effect there, because it will affect everything even after you change it if you still use that line layer material. So I'm going to go ahead and make this kind of a light blue, similar to the shadows, but a little bit darker than the shadows. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So you have the shadow color there, and I want there to be a similarity. I don't want it to be dark blue. I want it to be light blue, but a darker light blue than the shadows, if that makes sense. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, something like that. It gives them a very soft edge. Let's go ahead and take a look at this rendered. Yeah, it gives them a pretty soft edge. Let's actually try it. What happens if it's brighter? What happens if it's a brighter blue? It doesn't look bad. It makes them look even softer, doesn't it? And you know what? I think what we could do is we can go with something like that. And if we made it exactly the same as the shadow, it wouldn't look very good, just because it would just kind of look like the shadow, like there's shadows everywhere. Which, if that's the effect you want to get, that's totally fine. But I want there to be kind of like an outline, so I'm gonna add a little bit more light to it, and I'm just gonna keep it bright. Keep it bright. There we go. Something like that looks pretty good. So it almost looks like a rim light now, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. So yeah, that's good. Let's go ahead and give this guy the same treatment. So I'm going to give him the line layer snow, and that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then for the scarf here, we are going to be doing something with the scarf later, but I do want to select the color anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and say line layer scarf. And then this, of course, will be line layer scarf. And then I'm going to select a deep red to accent the red color of the scarf, so that we can get a softer look there as well. So that looks much softer. There, yeah, that looks good. That looks good. So let's go ahead and select that for here as well. Line layer scarf, line layer scarf. Excellent. Oh wait, that was already selected. Okay, anyway, so cool. Let me go ahead and render that out. And things look pretty good, besides all the clipping issues that we're having there, which we'll fix in a minute. The carrot nose, of course, we need to have a different color carrot nose. The outline for a carrot should not be black. That is way too harsh. Carrots are soft and delicious. Let's go ahead and make that a dark orange. Yeah, just a dark orange. Almost a brown, but not quite. Yeah, that looks good. That looks pretty good. Although I do kind of want to change the shadow color for the carrot. It looks a little green right now, so let's go ahead and make that a little bit more orange. There we go. That's a lot better. Yeah, that's more of a dark orange color. And we can also, by the way, control the shadows. I'm going to push that back just a little bit. Just give them a little bit more space for the light. Okay. That is pretty good. I think for the hat, obviously we do want black. I am totally okay with that. So no complaints there. Although what I am going to do is I'm going to make the black shadows not as black. So we'll kind of make it, yeah, like a near black kind of color. And I believe that shares with that. And for the eyes, we'll go and do the same thing just because they are separate, but I want them to have the kind of the same look and feel. So cool, we got that done. Now, before we move on, there's one thing I want to do, and that is to solve this creepy looking snowman. Because he just looks way too creepy right now. I mean, his eyes look lifeless and dead. He doesn't look like a toon character that we would share with our children. More of a creepy doll. So I want to give him a little bit of life, and it has a lot to do with his eyes. And what I'm going to do, and you'll see exactly what I mean in a second. What I'm going to do is, first of all, turn on backface calling. But I'm going to go ahead and give him a little bit of glint in his eyes, which is basically a faked specular. Oh boy, he looks. Anyway, he's sleeping. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm actually going to go ahead and duplicate the eyes, and that's with Shift D, right click to maintain the position here. So as you can see, there is a duplicate of these creepy eyeballs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this shape key, this extra shape key. I might as well get rid of that one too, and we'll make some new ones later to match the blink. But first thing I want to do after that is we'll get rid of this armature modifier, the extra one, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit apply for the mirror modifier. And what this will do is it'll give us two distinct eyes instead of just one that we can modify separately or edit separately. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them out forward a little bit. Actually, let's go ahead and take off the shrink wrap modifier. We don't need that. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and apply it just so that we can get the right shape. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the control period key. And that allows me to scale with individual origins. So by doing that, it allows me to do this. So that's kind of cool. Now, he still looks a little creepy. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move him over individually. We're just going to move one piece over here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And actually, we don't need the solidify modifier. That's a little too thick. So I'm just going to use that one piece as reference there. And then for this one as well, go ahead and put him in the same general spot for the eye. And this is the glint of the eye. So we want to make sure that there is a reasonable glint as part of the eyeball. I'm going to go ahead and change this to white. Make a new material and change it to white. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this ramp. Don't need that. I'm just going to make it shadeless white because that's what glints are. They are shadeless reflections, shininesses of the things. So that's the first half, and then I'm going to go ahead and make another one just right around here. Oh, let me go ahead and turn median point back on by hitting Control, comma, which brings this back to the median point, which is the default. And then I'll go ahead and move this here, move that there, rotate them together, kind of thing. Just make sure they're equidistant. And the main point is to make sure that they belong on the same part of the eye. I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to individual origins, scale them down, make them smaller than the other one. Bring it back to median point, then kind of adjust accordingly. And I'm going to go over here and adjust it manually because I want to. And yeah, that looks pretty good. And if you look at him now, look how cute he looks. Look at that. Look, that is so much better. Oh man, he no longer is a lifeless soul. So that's cool. That's a huge plus. Anyway, now that we have that set up, and he's a lot cuter now, I'm gonna go ahead and make him smile as well, just so that. There we go. Oh wait, hang on. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so so yeah, he's doing that. He's doing great. Now let's go ahead and make sure that the blink is set up again for his eyes, because this is gonna be kind of weird when he does that. I guess you know, I was gonna add a shape key for the blinking of the eye here. The strange part is when it comes in from this angle, but what I think we'll do is we might take care of some of that stuff in post. And I actually like the fact that when he blinks, the glint kind of stays there, because that's kind of how it works in real life. So instead of getting the glints to kind of blink with him, we'll just kind of leave it like that, and that works great, because I mean it's still being influenced properly with the bones and everything like that, so everything works great. So now he's a little bit cuter. He has you know, some life in his eyes, and he has an outline. He has different colored outlines, so that is amazing. So the next step is to get into rendering. So that will be the next portion, and we're going to talk about the post-processing solutions we have for the scarf and for the nose, and potentially for the hat as well, for certain parts that we might need to have no clipping versions of the backface culling. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.